Kevin walked into the right gym and learned Muay Thai from the very authentic Thai style. And then I would go in there and Master Chan, who I think is still in Las Vegas, I would walk in and I'm still drinking and partying and everything. He was like, "Oh, baby, you're fat. You need to lose weight." And I was like, no, that didn't come from my dad. That came from this Thai man that has nothing to gain in my life but to be like, "Hey, you need to work out." And so I immediately signed up for 20 lessons with him. And
so he fat shamed you into training?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, Thais are really good at that. And
Are they really?
Yeah, I probably need Master Chan back in my life right now. If I'm being really honest, like he's probably like, "Oh, baby, get back into training."
They're so friendly, though. I wouldn't think that Thai people would be that.
Have you been to Thailand?
Yes, I enjoyed it over there.
They're always like, like the first 2 weeks of training sucks so bad because they're like, "Oh, too big. You need to go down." And I'm like, I usually lose about like 20 pounds the first 2 weeks just because I'm like, shit, this fat shaming just sucks. But I don't mind. I grew up in my family where like I walked in and, my grandmama Maxine, she'd be like, "Honey, no, you can't look like that on TV." You have to, because she comes from the classical days. She's like, "No, you need to, get in the gym and make sure that your face is good and da da da." So my family doesn't pull any punches either, and I'm okay with that. Like, I think it's people around you telling you the truth, trying to make you better in life. Which is my entire family, every single one of them. Like,
yeah, it's a weird time today where you're not supposed to do that anymore. They want
nobody to stop around me.
They want you to preserve people's feelings now, but there's like fat shaming only works if you feel bad. Like
if you feel bad, if you do it, or
if the person feels bad, if it like you can't fat shame me.
Yeah,
I'd be like, "Oh, I'm fat. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work."
Yeah.
Like, but if you have an issue with your weight and someone tries to fat shame you, then it works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like, it's like not a great feeling, but it is a necessary. Somebody cares about you when they're like, "Hey, be like, okay, hey, you're doing this in your life, and it's probably not benefiting you. Like, how can I help you?" And in my family, the Italian part of my family is just like. It's funny because you walk into like Thanksgiving, they're like, "Okay, you're 5 pounds up. Way to go. You're going to stay away from the mushroom raviolis this time." And I'm like, "Why do you have 4 different types of bread on the table? This is your fault."
Well, people do it because they care about you sometimes, but sometimes they do it just because it's a place to be cruel.
Well, I don't care about those people. Then.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's the internet.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's
the entire Twitter. Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of it. It's super unhealthy for them too. They don't even realize it. They're spitting out all this like emotional poison. They're doing it all day long. It's like that's not good. It's not good for you either. You can't feel good about yourself. You're just being mean to people all day.
Yeah, but that says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah, it does. And look, people talk like that all the time. The difference is it seems different when it's written down. Mm-hmm. Like if you just had people alone in a barbershop, they would just be talking shit and insulting people.
Yes, which is great.
But now it's written down.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Louis C.K. said that to me once. And when he said it, I was like, oh, I thought about it differently. He goes, it's just talk.
Yeah.
Like people always talk like that. But now it's written down. It looks different when you read it.
And it's so not how people really are in person. Like, I just did a Dallas Fan Expo for 3 days, and there was not one person in that whole expo that said one thing negative, hateful. There was
isn't that weird?
Yeah. And I'm like,
meet people in real life, they're almost always nice.
But they're so I feel like people are so beaten down right now from the internet, from thinking that this is how people are.
Yeah.
That they're just beaten down, and then they get out, and I'm just hugging as many people as possible. I'm shaking their hands. I wish I had more time than that for, those 3 minutes with them because, I'm not necessarily an extrovert. It's not like I want to be out there like and talking to a bunch of people, but I feel like that's what people need right now. And I love doing it. So I've got like 4 more fan expos this year that they're tiring, and you have to keep your energy up for each different person. But I just think out of all the years I'm going to do this, it's going to be this year, so I can look people in the face and let them know that this isn't real life over here on the internet. This is real life.
Yeah.